Alright everybody, we are good to go with a little best of 3 series here today, and we are at the HeroesHype Premier Series, powered by Reno and GameStop. HeroesHype producing this entire thing, and I'm already detecting a little bit of a flaw in the matrix. Not quite sure how we're gonna do that with that logo. Do we want to put it to the side? Yeah, we're gonna fix it like this for now. I have to tinker around with this a little bit. The setup is unfortunately not perfect for today, and there was a lot happening in my apartment. I had workers over that installed a second air conditioning since it's starting to get pretty hot in Spain, so I literally just jumped into the room to cast 5 minutes before this entire thing started, so there wasn't a lot of time to set everything up properly. But yes, we are here in the HeroesHype Premier Tournament, the Premier Series, and we are in a game between... So these are different teams than you are seeing in Division S. You don't have to have the same lineup that you have in your Division S team, and therefore we have, as you can see on the left side already, a Washed Up 2.0. Now their name, strictly speaking, it's not Washed Up 2.0, it's another Washed Up. That's the name that they have. Another Washed Up, as you can imagine, is a little bit long for the overlay, so I just shortened it into Washed Up 2.0. At the end of the day, it's the same thing. But it's Hazops again, together with Nick. Yes, that is the old method Nick. We have Banana H and Masquerade in there, the Frenchies, and Pepega as well. And on the right side, there's also a few names that you should actually recognize. Wildcard is playing with Blade, who was also in HGC. We have Monkey, we have Tioqua, Nano, and Salt Prophet in there. All of them high up in the ladder too. And it should actually be a fun one. So this is a bit of a tournament with a twist, I want to say, because we have slightly different teams, and it's going to be an interesting one for sure. First round, also with a few of the names that you don't see in Division S, so it's actually pretty cool. So with this case now we have Samuro actually banned out, and the reason for that, in case I'm not familiar with it, is Monkey, because Monkey is the former Samuro 1 trick that perfected Samuro to a level where Ethereal at some point said, I'm kind of done with this shit, this is so fucking annoying, I'm going to play this in HGC. And that was what triggered back then in HGC Europe a week or two of Samuro being played all the time, and it's all because of Monkey. So once that you see him on the other side of the team, the first thing you want to do is ban out Samuro. He obviously has a couple of other heroes up his sleeve, but still. Hanzo banned out on Infernal Shrines, Ana and Maiev also got taken away, and we have a Nubarak coming into play here. Okay, so with the Beetle in action on the first pick, what are we going to have from Washed Up here? Again, we're talking, I mean, okay, fair enough. Quick as they are, we have Diablo and Tyrande locked in, so already a bit of a combo. Dibbles strong enough as he is on Infernal Shrines with Tyrande, another combo for stuns. That's also pretty solid here. And this is also an interesting setup. I would assume that Masquerade is going to be the one that will play Diablo here. I'm not quite sure what Nick has been up to in terms of games these days. I mean, he's been playing with Team Snickers in one of the tournaments a few, 1-2 months back. But Masquerade is usually the one that rocks Diablo. So we have Alex, early pick into her. What is this, China? What's going on here? That's usually something that we're seeing in the Chinese meta. But yeah, Alex Straza is getting picked together with Sylvanas on the side of Wildcard. And we kind of have to figure out where we go from there. So, for the time being, it's ban time, and offlane can still be banned out. Obviously, another burst damage mage could also be banned, but they're banning the offlane. I guess they would like to play Jaina. Washed Up 2.0, that is. That would be a good ban, to be honest, for Wildcard. I mean, there's obviously the offlane to consider as well. If you try to limit the options a little bit, Leo, for example, would be a solid pick here too. Instead, we're having Zeratul, slightly afraid of that Zeratul Apocalypse, the Void Prison Apocalypse combo. But now we could see Leo and Jaina. There's Leo already, as expected. Question is, Jaina, yes or no? You have a few other mages to play around with if you're trying to deliver the burst damage. So it's not only Jaina here, but she would definitely be a very solid choice. Having, of course, still some others around here too. Also a couple of auto attackers with Jimmy, Phoenix. Could be possible. And they go for the rat. Junkrat is getting picked here. Okay, fair enough. So no Jaina for them. Are we going to see her on the other side? Is that a pick that Wildcard would like to play right now? I mean, Alex is obviously going to try and get the trade through on the objective with the Dragon Queen. You can go full in A, drop a Tychus into the midst, and then pop Odin as well. Then you have double Transformers right there. Something that has been played in HGC North America for a little bit. And it's the bird. The bird is taken, and Blaze together with him. So Nubarak, Blaze at the front, and Volskaya in. And last but not least, the pick that we're now seeing for Washed Up 2.0. For another Washed Up. What are we going to have as the additional damage dealer? Is it hammer time? I don't really think so, but what is Hazu going to decide to play here? I mean, already we're having Junkrat, so that's great poke from the outside of the shrine. You get easy minion stacks as well. It's hammer time. It's hammer time after all. HeroesHype is going for it, and there we have it. The Sergeant picked Infernal Shrines, map number 1. Let's jump straight into the first game of the best of 3 series. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. We have the first map in the series. And on the left side, for the team in blue, for Washed Up 2.0, we have HeroesHype with Sergeant Hammer, Nick on Diablo, Banana H on Tyrande, Masquerade on Junkrat, and Cris, aka Pepega, on Leoric. On the right side, on the other hand, we have Wildcard with a Blade on Nubarak. We're currently having Monkey on Plays, Alex Straza played by Salt Prophet, Nano on Sylvanas, and TRQR on Falstad. Time to shine and ready to rumble in our first game here. And again, as I said before, this is the HeroesHype Premier Series, which means that Washed Up doesn't have to play with their normal lineup. So if some of the players can't make it, if some of the players don't want to play, they can just switch it around, which is one of the reasons why we're having a completely different setup. Mena, for example, is currently on vacation, so he couldn't even play if he wanted to. So we have a different lineup this time for Washed Up that they're currently playing with. Their actual tournament name is another Washed Up, which was a little bit long for the overlay, so we went for Washed Up 2.0. And they're going up against Wildcard, which has a couple of former HGC pros in their midst too, and obviously also a few players that were always knocking on the door. Cris at the top lane finds himself in the off-laner role. I actually expected a little bit of a switch here. I honestly thought that Masquerade would switch into Diablo again and that Nick would take the back line, but far from it. Instead, we're having Nick currently rocking Dibbles, and already a bit of a dive here into the hammer range down at the bottom of the map. But at this point, things are actually still a little bit quiet. I mean, again, we're off to a good start already with this series. We're currently in the quarterfinal here, and I'm honestly pretty happy that we get such a good game right off the bat. Especially, of course, since we're looking again at Cris now playing too with the team, and Nick. I mean, Nick was always a lot of fun to watch when he was playing for Method in HGC. Now we're seeing him here in this particular setup. Blade is in a bit of trouble and tries to get out here. Might actually escape, especially with Salt Prophet having the heals ready. That was kind of important for him. And there we go. They have it right away. With this, up to the top lane, we still have, well, Monkey still holding the experience for his team. Cris on Leo is already rotating over. In level 1 talents, by the way, we have Sylvanas with the Unfurling Shadows. Up to now, without a single stack, and the Wingman for the bird. So Falstad is going to try and bribe the camps here whenever he has an opportunity to do that. Down to the bottom on the other hand now, Nano is just sitting tight. I mean, it's literally just outside of hammer range saying like, yeah, I can't really do a whole lot here. So it's just chilling. Nubarak now went into the deep dive with the Underking, trying to make sure that approach onto hammer is definitely not out of the question. Already Nick with a little bit of flank play here, securing the flank, making sure that there's absolutely nothing happening, nothing coming their way that they don't know about. And is trying to push this out already just slightly with a bit of an attack against Alex Straza. But our first shrine is now activating, and that is really when we're going to see some of the action coming into play. So far the teams have been pretty mellow. Nobody has been really going for any big plays, just normal rotations, trying to get the camps, trying to also get a few of the experience points here through the minion waves. When it comes to camps, there's a slight advantage for Washed Up, which also puts them in a position where they have an early access to the shrine at the top, to the first Punisher, and Cris is already straight on the point here, trying to make his play, whereas the rest of the team is anchoring the middle and trying to deep push those shamans. But here comes the rotation. Wildcard is trying to fight in for this one, and let's see if they can actually make a bit of a play here. Falstad is already flying in, trying to go for Cris a little bit here. The Drain connects on the other hand, and Monkey misses the jet propulsion and gets wrecked immediately. Yeah, that turned back quickly. One missed jet propulsion, and that gets punished within a second. Lockdown into the stuns, and then it's goodbye Blaze, and also goodbye Alexstrasza. A quick 2-0 lead for Washed Up 2.0 in this particular fight. Nicely done by them. Very, very interesting to have such a quick and decisive double kill from them here in the first objective. It was really well done by them. Masquerade, on the other hand, is actually going to fall here. Yeah, they get the counter kill. Now, they might not get the objective, but they at least get one kill. Question is Cris going to delay it? And yes, he indeed is. Delaying it a little bit longer. And yeah, just as I say, it just goes for it anyways. I mean, right now, Junkrat is already nearly back, but they're already making the play here through the top. There's a bit of a push happening in the middle. They have to also rotate onto, which is exactly what they're doing. And move straight in here. With the Punisher jumping in, baited over the wall, immediately attacked here, as you do. And a bit of a counter attempt against Nick as Blade jumps off from behind the gate. Problem, obviously, is that now someone has to go down to the bottom of the map. That should be Volskaya. Could fly in. Actually, he doesn't. Instead, it's Monkey that rotates over. Everybody else is still trying to defend here. Obviously, with Hazops having level 7 in the Hovering Siege mode, that particular Punisher is a little bit more dangerous than normally be. Already, Siege Tactics being used, and Blade gets wrecked. A noob goes down, a Nubarak getting a Nubarak once again, and with that we're now having 3 kills against 1, and a pretty solid setup to drop additional damage onto the fort at the top lane. And throughout all of this, Cris is just soaking the side lane here. 27 stacks for the Unfurling Shadows. We're not seeing the level 7 wave though, so that's actually interesting. Lost Soul instead, so trying to get the cooldown reduction into play instead of getting the additional stacks instead. And additional stacks is something that Sylvanas could actually use quite a bit here. I mean, right now, as you can see, that fort has already taken 50% damage. And with this, we're currently having straight down to the bottom of the map. Nick is moving in, Masquerade is moving in as well. And everybody is just going for camps again. This is like one of the things with the changes also in experience, and now that you don't get that experience from structures anymore like you did in the past, you can oftentimes win the first objective, start and push through a little bit, but you're not really in that lead that you previously were able to establish. Now there is still an advantage obviously for Washed Up 2.0 because they have those additional kills and they're using that level 10 now to potentially even get another kill here. If Leo, for example, is able to make the rotation at any point and then gets a quick entomb in, that's a completely different story then. But so far, Cris has been rocking the top lane the entire time here, using, as I said before, his alternate account, Pepiga. Down goes Sylvanas, and yeah, that's another kill for the team in blue. Another Washed Up is taking another kill. And they are already aiming for the next one. The stun combo this time doesn't quite... Oh my god! Cris, please! Oh, holy shit. I mean, I hope that he was only aiming for Alexstrasza, but if the goal was really to get a Nubarak here and he timed that, then holy cow. They get the 2 kills either way, and now we're looking at 6 kills against 1, and we have Alex and a Nubarak both down. But damn, that entomb was glorious. Not only trapping Alexstrasza, but then also a Nubarak just diving straight into it. That was absolutely perfect. A quick cocoon from a Nubarak as he's trying to somehow deal with that situation. But there was just nothing they could do here. Like, damn son, that was good. That was quite good. Massive lead now, obviously, for another Washed Up. They took the fort in the middle, they severely damaged the one at the top, they have a significant lead in kills and experience, and now we're looking at another shrine. The one redeeming quality or the one redeeming move here on the side of Wildcard, on the other hand, is that they still have the same talent. And that's actually pretty important here. So this still gives them a chance to fight back into it. There's a camp at the top and at the bot lane that is pushing through. Masquerade is even sitting it out a little bit longer, trying to see if he can maybe get some more experience for his team to propel them to level 13 a little bit quicker. But they're starting the rotation right now. And these camps obviously start to hurt a little bit. I mean, down at the bottom of the map, this is going to get a bit of value for them for sure. Over here, we already have the lead for the blue team. And they're trying to get more as level 13 is just around the corner. And they're starting to get significant stacks here. Trying to make the play for Nano again. This time not connecting with that. We're currently also seeing HeroesHype obviously absolutely unchallenged here. We still have the Mighty Gust as a potential play, but for that, the bird has to get into position. Here comes the Dragon Queen, but they won't be able to win that shrine. It's just not happening. I'm sorry. Here comes the Gust again, and the Riptire, and Nubarak goes down, and Nano might actually follow. I don't think... he has the wave in. There's the Entomb against Blaze on the other hand. Cooldown has already been used. Monkey's trying to escape here. Good silence from Sylvanas, but that's all that she can do. And she actually helps with the escape. Blaze gets out, and the kill against the bird. The bird down, but that Protector wants a piece of the action, jumps straight onto Sylph, and that is another dead hero. Another washed up is absolutely demolishing their opponent here. Wildcard is currently 8 kills behind, and only 9.5 minutes into the game, we're already seeing the first keep attacked and potentially falling. And then Nubarak just doesn't have a chance. I mean, the entire time he gets bullied around. They're just using the magnifying glass, and they're burning the beetle to a crisp at this point. 10 kills against 1, 4 of those 10 kills against Nubarak himself. And now, before the 10-minute mark is even hit, they take the keep. And there's still Leo, Cris currently proxying the waves over here to put more pressure onto that top fort as well. Rest of the team is already dealing with the camps, stealing them away, and then I guess rotate down to the bottom to get a bit more damage in on the bot lane. But they are totally destroying here. I mean, it's honestly, it's a little bit brutal. I mean, and sorry guys, if you have kids watching this, then I should set a bit of a warning sign up here, because this is the stuff of nightmares that we're seeing right now. Shit that's happening on screen here is not legal in quite a lot of the states in the US, I think. So right now, Nick, Pivica, Masquerade, HeroesHype, the entire 5-man is at the bot lane. They're aiming for another fort. And with HeroesHype just shelling away, they should be able to get that. And this isn't even on 16. I mean, this isn't even with a Giant Killer, and he's already murdering it completely. So that first game, at least, is looking fantastic for them. Top lane, yeah, they're losing a bit of hit points on that fort, and that's obviously experience that they're missing out on. But generally speaking, they're so far ahead that they don't really care anymore. So at this point, Blade, yeah, just walking into another stun. You have to feel a little bit sorry for him. I mean, wherever he is, he just gets completely controlled. There's either a quick move from Junkrat to lock him into place with a trap, or we have Nick pulling him into a wall. Sylvanas is following up. There's also Hammer in the meantime, just getting one auto attack after another in. And it's pretty brutal. I mean, again, there we go again. Even with the cocoon, it just doesn't matter. Sylph is, sorry, not Sylph, Alexstrasza is gonna fall. And now Monkey is also being chased. Actually, everybody is being chased here. They're bullying a Nubarak around again. The level 16 talents make it possible. And now Blade barely getting out with 400 HP. Can Masquerade? Nah, they can't get the kill here. 86 stacks on the side of Nano. That isn't too bad. Problem is that Nano himself is now a bit low. HeroesHype wants the kill. Oh! And instead it's Masquerade. I was just about to say, misses the auto attack, but Junkrat was still there. And the bird also dies. This is an absolute destruction. I mean, they want to make a statement here. This is honestly one of these games where you just want to close your eyes and ask for someone to tell you when it's over. Because this is not easy to watch. The double stun coming out. I want to look at the damage again. 33,000. I mean, Sylvanas actually has 29k, which isn't too bad. But the amount of kills that we're seeing here. It's 12 minutes into the game. 12 minutes into the game. 2 forts down, a keep down, 13 kills against 1. This is just absolute, utter domination what we're currently witnessing here. HeroesHype is setting himself up in every single fight in a good position where he can just get one auto attack in after another. It's hammer time, as we said before. Up at the top lane, again, a little bit of experience up for grabs, but I don't really think there's a chance for Wildcard to get that level 16 before we are having the fight over the shrine itself, especially since it's already activated. There's a camp pushing through the bot lane. And right now, what can you do? If you're a Wildcard, you have to force the fight. You know that you are severely behind, but there's nothing else that you can do. Cris gets attacked, but gets out immediately. Should be healed up by Tyrann in just a moment. And again, the bully maneuver. Double stuns, and down goes the noob. Doesn't have the chance to do anything here. Alexstrasza comes in with the heal attempts, but already falls dead. And with a huge problem in his hands, and the problem is called Cris. And there come the kills. Sylvanas is alive for another moment, but then dies too. Falset is already dead, and this is just insane. So now the Arcane Punisher is taken. The bot lane is already about to lose the keep here, and they're just moving straight through it. This is nuts. This is honestly nuts. I mean, Monkey is also about to fall here. Can he actually escape? There's no way, right? Nah, of course not. Monkey goes down to 17 kills against 1. The Punisher isn't even here yet, and they're already going through the keep. Punisher's just asking, guys, leave something for me. I want to at least participate a little bit here. The setup with Leo, he went straight into the Mithril Maze and to the Spectral Leech. But at this point, is there doubt in anybody's mind that this core is going to fall? I don't really think so. Shields are already gone. 16 is still not there yet for Wildcard. We have a 4-level lead now. 4 washed up as they are going for the victory here in game number 1 of the best of 3. Blade is low again, gets drained, and they try to go for the kill, but it is over as Washed Up takes a spectacular victory in game number 1 against Wildcard. Okay, everybody, that was a bit of a stomp. I mean, we just saw Washed Up just destroy Wildcard. They had a lot of fun there. That entire lineup just worked so well. They worked like a well-oiled machine there. I mean, most of the players have played in HGC at some point, but still, that was pretty much... It was a spectacular win. Let's just be honest about this. There was utter domination that we saw there. They really just bullied their opponent around. And now the question is, can Wildcard somehow come back into this? And I expected them to fight back a little bit harder. I mean, again, if you're looking at Storm League alone, those guys are ranked pretty high. A lot of them in the top 10. We're having also some competitive experience. We have actually a lot of competitive experience on the side of Wildcard there too. But yeah, with this particular setup, going up against Hazorps, Cris, Nick, and the French boys, that was just a disaster from the perspective of Wildcard. They have to prove now somehow that they can still come back into this, but again, we're seeing Samuro banned out right away, targeting Monkey here, and really just trying to play around the hit point pools, making sure that nobody, the hero pools, trying to make sure that nobody on the red team side gets their priority picks. And with the ban now coming in, what are we gonna have from Wildcard? What are they get rid of? Maiev, again, banned out. Again, this time it's Volskaya Foundry. So I could definitely see something a little bit more fishy on the offlane. It's not necessarily a murky pun. I was more so thinking about seeing Rek'Sai again, which is pretty established in the meta as a good offlaner. Thrall on this map obviously has a good chance of getting picked too. Leo is still strong. I mean, any map where you have to make rotations between 2 lanes, where wave play is important, Leo always excels. So he is great there as well. And yeah. With that, we're now also having Ana, again, banned out. And what else are we going to get on the other side? They could even ban Zeratul again. They seem to be a little bit afraid or weary of those potential wombo combos that we could see on the other side. So that might be one of the choices here to be made. But even outside that, you could ban Hanzo if you want to get rid of him. That's another one that's definitely ban-worthy on the map too. But it's a little bit tricky. Because the hero pools are pretty big for Washed Up 2.0. And they ban Diablo. Alright, they are done with that play from Nick where he just bullied the frontline around the entire time. So, yep, let's have a look at that. First pick, what are we gonna get? Could be a Hanzo pick, honestly. I mean, at this point, you could just go straight into Hanzo if you wanted to. I wonder if Washed Up is going for something a bit different. And again, as some people might just tuned in, this is obviously a different... There's our Hanzo. This is a bit of a different Washed Up lineup. This is the HeroesHype Premier Series, and therefore you don't have to play with the same players that you play in with in Division S. So slight adjustments, especially since some of the players on the side of the traditional Washed Up lineup are actually not even available. Mane, for example, he's on a vacation. Others might just don't have time or don't really want to. But either way, we have Wildcard now in the attempt to force game number 3. And if they can pull a good draft off, they might have a chance. And ooh, immediately we're going full North America here. We have Tyrande taken as a first pick, and then with the same rotation, Uther as the main tank comes into play. Yep, that's something that you see more so on the North American side, but in this case, we're gonna have Wildcard trying to see what they can do with this particular setup. That adds a lot of stuns, that adds a lot of sustain that you have on the control point 2, on that checkpoint. On the other hand, we have Malfurion and the burst damage through Jaina. So very early commitments here into damage dealers. Not really focused too heavily onto the front line. Jojo is still great here. You can pick Muradin. You have still a Nubarak available. Neither banned nor picked up to this point. And on the offlane, obviously, similar hero choices. Rexa, Urel, Blaze, Leo, they're all still up there. Thrall, if you want to go into a full setup with melee, if you want to try and go Crash Lightning here. Another good one. And there's the Nubarak ban. Makes sense. You have on the other side Malfurion, you have Jaina, so there's definitely a huge argument to be made for banning out the engaged heroes so that there can't be a follow-up with the root and the burst damage. So let's see what we have with that. We need... What do you ban out here? I mean, you can just simply ban damage again if you really want to. Makes quite a bit of sense. And Alarak, alright. Alarak gets banned out. Yeah, there's definitely a chance for that to happen. But I still want to see a bit more of an X factor. Don't get me wrong, seeing that Uther as a main tank position now, similar to what we have sometimes in North America, is already a little bit wild, but I expect a bit more of a punch here from Wildcard, since I really feel they need to come out of the gate with something a little bit more on the cheesy side, a little more experimental. There's Urel, more armor, more survivability, and Li Ming. Okay, Li Ming gonna try and get the damage connected here. So mage versus mage. And what do we have on the side of Washed Up? They still need an offlaner. And they need a main tank. I actually don't know what Nick plays right now in those competitive games. But again, Johanna is up. Could go for her. Muradin still up as well. Offlane, there's still Leo. Can straight up go for him again. And there's Leo. And they go ETC together with him. Alright. The cow is in play. We have ETC, we have Leoric, and on the last pick, what are we going to get from Wildcard? Now, they need one more, and it seems to me like a little bit more damage would definitely be something that could do them a whole lot of good here. Li Ming is already great, but you want to have a little bit more than that. Hunter's Mark on Tyrande obviously helps with any kind of lockdown too. But there we go. Hammer is getting picked as we are jumping into game number 2. Game number 2, everybody, and we have a little bit of a shake-up on the side of Wildcard when it comes to the draft. We're going to talk about this in a second, but let's introduce Washed Up 2.0, aka another Washed Up first. Hazobs on Jaina, Cris with his PPK account on Leoric, we have Nick on ETC, Masquerade on Hanzo, and Banana Age on Malfurion. And over on the right side, we see Monkey on Urel, Nan on Li Ming, TRQ on Sergeant Hammer, and Salt Prother of Tyrande, and Blade on Garrosh. Everybody that was looking forward to a Tyrande and Uther composition with the Uther main tank NA play is going to be a little bit disappointed here, because unbeknownst to us, there was a chat happening at the same time between the players, since apparently that Uther lock-in was a mistake and it got called out right away by Blade. He said like, yeah, that was supposed to be Garrosh, not sure what happened here. And both of the teams agreed that they would just finish the draft out and then after the draft switch the hero up and go straight into Garrosh. So forget everything that I said during the draft when we were talking about the combo here, with them going a little bit more into the NA meta, trying to supply Uther here for the front line, because while we have that actually being played in North America, here in Europe, Wildcard decided not quite to go that much into the deep end when it comes to the draft strategies, and instead went into Hammer and is now trying their little setup here with Garrosh, and obviously going to be attempting to flip a target into Tyrande stun here right away. So no Uther for now, and yeah, he's not gonna hurt any snowman today. But in this case, we're still having a pretty solid situation for Wildcard, since especially with Garrosh, they obviously have a much hit point heavier front tank, so to say, and also the Hammer setup in the backline. So with that known, we already are seeing still the push at the bottom between the 1 versus 1. Cris is making his play here, and both of the teams with the immediate turret that has been taken. Game number 1 was pretty crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong, that was a setup where it was absolutely insane how much Washed Up bullied their opponent around here. The question is simply, can they pull that off again? That would be the big question mark here for this particular game. Cris again on the off lane, as we already said before. This is the second game in the row that we're seeing him on Leoric. So we're gonna have to find out if he's going to switch that up or if it's gonna be Leo from here on out whenever he gets the chance. Definitely one of the best solo laners that we currently have. And already the aggression against Blade, who is in a huge amount of trouble and is likely to fall. And yep, goes down. Masquerade on the other hand is able to escape. Barely, but he does. And that's the first blood in game number 2. Washed up with a kill against Blade. Nicely done here by them. Slight talent adjustments now too. The Hand of Freedom already taken. So a little bit more of a setup to help Hammer out whenever there is any kind of lockdown happening through a Hanzo arrow, through a root, or when we're, for example, seeing something along those lines. Especially against Malfurion, great one to take. And obviously having that movement speed is also pretty fantastic just to get someone like Hammer out of harm's way. With level 4 we have also the Charged Blast taken. So no dominance for Li Ming. And that's not the only thing. I mean, you look over to the level 1 talent and what do we see there? Ether Walk. Yeah, Ether Walk makes it into another game. Blizzard development team is happy about that. And, well, with this now we have objective number 1. And with the first objective, the contest as Blade comes in up to the top. We're still having a camp pushing in. Li Ming is currently dealing with that. Everybody else still playing around the middle here. And it is a little bit dicey. I mean, seriously, Blade is trying to push in the entire time, but it is pretty rough for him to just like stand at the front with the entire setup around Jaina and Hanzo just waiting for him to overstep a little bit and then try and get the quick kill in. So far, they're just giving up on that with the early level 7. There's obviously another big argument to be made why there should not be any aggression coming from Wildcard for the time being. But the big moment would really be when there is a setup with even talents where they can go and make the play. And that would be right around now. Currently, we don't have any of that. I'm really wondering if they get the... Yeah, okay, they get the push finally. And they really need to, because 62% already on the progress bar is pretty much showing you where this is going. There's another turret that already got taken on the left side. One of the main reasons why we have the 1 minute rotation towards the turret camp, so we only can pick up the second one during this. One already dropped, the second one still being held here. Yeah, but we are looking at 99%. And this is the moment when Wildcard has to establish dominance here. And so far they're trying to set Hammer into a good spot, and it's not really too bad. The problem is that Blade is just eating a bunch of damage here. And Masquerade is homing on even more. So Blade already trying to move back here and save himself for a later date here, but not working out. Blade getting poked, Cris moving in from the side, and they're starting to take over the spot. Don't get me wrong, the question is just how long can they withstand all the pressure that comes from the outside here. But now there's a solid position taken for Wildcard. Hanzo in particular is trying to poke as much as he can, but the big move from Washed Up could now come after they just pre-tapped the fountain. They're already starting to move in. They don't have any items anymore. Urel comes in, starts to push them around a little bit. Drain is already connecting here. Blade needs to be cautious. Cris is getting some solid damage in and gets the slow in too, and that might be the end of Blade. And yes, indeed it is, and he's not the only one that dies. Tyrande falls 2 eliminated, and that is Protector number 1 already taken right there. First Protector in the game, breaking through the mid wall. There's nobody even here to deal with that by any means, and now the rotation towards the top side to prepare for objective number 2. And right now, Washed Up is again looking quite solid. Good moves from them, quick and decisive rotations. They definitely know what they want to do, when they want to do it, and how they want to do it, and they know that there's just absolutely nobody right now that can stop them. They want that fountain, ideally the fort, but as long as you take the fountain down, you will have a great time for objective number 2. And guess what? They have level 10 now as well, which gives us Hanzo's arrow, also Entomb, and they could try and force another fight here. There's still a level that their opponent needs. Blade is coming in from behind, and I'm not quite sure if that's really the best move, but Masquerade gets locked down and wrecked. Nice kill. Well done. That worked out way better than I expected it to. Blade moving in there felt for a moment like he was playing with fire, and I guess in a way he did. But yeah, right now they still got the kill, and that's all that counts at the end of the day. Monkey needs to be, yeah, hobbity hop there, right there. Cris with a nice attempt to get the Entomb through, but that was just a little bit too much to ask for. Obviously, there's no real downside for them at this point. Unless there's a fight that can be forced by Wildcard in a moment. I don't really think they can. Stage dive also for ETC. There's obviously quite a few interrupts on the other side, so that's one of the reasons why you don't want to go into the mosh pit. But then if you have that global aspect also for your team composition, that gives us another avenue to win the game for Washed Up. So with that, good choice that we're seeing from the ETC here. And drains still continue. I mean, Cris so far has been doing really well on Leo in the first game. And you now look to his damage output, and he's sitting at a solid 10,000 damage. Same as Jaina. 2 kills against Garrosh already. And it's elite. I mean, again, it's not really too insane just yet. They got the fort at the top side. That definitely counts. 2 additional kills. It's also a pretty good start. The item advantage, that's probably what the biggest upset or the biggest problem for Wildcard is right now, that they lost both. But there is still a chance for them to force a fight on even talents. And that is actually exactly what you are trying to do. So with that, Cris still rotating around the entire time. Dual soak from Leoric, as we're used to. Also successfully laning against Urel the entire time here. But it's level 13 that they really want. And now we could Cris see him again with his build there. Obviously, as already pointed out a bit earlier, we're having now the Ring of Frost also claimed. There's the push. Ult even being used. Ooh, Monkey. He gets a little bit scared after game number 1, doesn't he? For good reason too. But yeah, gets the ult through. And there's the Entomb again. And the Ring of Reckoning. It's a little bit frosty here today in Volskaya Foundry, and down goes Tyrande. And Blade is kind of low, but actually survives. Does actually get away here. The problem is that with one hero down and Blade already so low that he definitely has to tap. We have some additional moves towards the fort, and more HP already lost at Hazorb, Banana H, and Nick are moving in. Monkey trying to somehow deliver Malfurion and set him up for a kill, but that doesn't quite happen. The taunt is in, and Nick is down. Had to drag that out for a moment because it just looked for just a second as if Nick could actually survive this, thanks to the ult on Banana H side, who went straight into the Tranquility and tried to make that play. In the meantime, Nano is sitting up at the top. 13 is ready. That gives us also the Icy Veins now. And Spectral Leech again. So, we're gonna have the same build that you already rocked in game number 1. Cris currently trying to do his thing here. And obviously another objective on the map is also taken by Hazorbs. Good old Hazu, just sitting there. I'm just saying, like, guys, you can do whatever you want on the map. I'm gonna make sure that we're gonna get the objective, at least for now. But there's another rotation over to the item slot as they are trying to make their play. But let's see. There goes one item. One is already taken on the right side, so both of the teams now with an additional turret. The quick scout against Hazu is already deciding that it's time to go. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, boys, I think I'm done with this for now. We have 63%. I think I'm Gucci with that. Oh, there comes the attack against Cris, and Cris might be in trouble, and indeed, he goes down. Trade value activate. Leoric is right now down for the count, but obviously he's going to be back pretty soon and also respawn straight on the position. One of the biggest advantages of Leo, seriously, in the earlier stages of the game when the death timers are still low. It's absolutely fantastic if you can trade him for damage on an opponent's hero or maybe even a kill. That's great for them. But now they're trying to make the play over here, and that should be a deadly Ming. She gets away. Nicely done by Nano. Cris is trying to set up another one, but the problem is that he himself exposes himself a little bit too much. Not indecently, I might add, but he still falls. And that's the kill against Leo. And can they at least get the counter kill against Blade? He drops the item, but he is not dying. It's a 4 versus 3. Cris isn't there yet. Throwing Hammer a little bit farther forward. Another nice setup against Nano, but the problem is they just can't kill the bastard. So with that, we're having a nice situation for Wildcard where they are drawing even in experience. Boom! Just like that. Experience, dead even with their opponent. We're having again rotations happening as the team in blue is attempting to get enough XP for level 16 and try and get an advantage with that too. But yeah, 63% against 57. Going straight in for the point. One more wave is pretty much all that they need for level 16. And that's something that obviously, having Wildcard, well aware of that as well. But there we have it. Patiently playing around this, 80%. Trying to get the minions, trying to get the experience in just a second. Both of them close to 16, but there it is. That's the moment to shine. That's the moment to attack. That's the moment to go for. And the Entomb connects. The arrow doesn't do the same. The arrow doesn't do what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to hit Tyrande, but it hits 2 more in the back line, so I guess that's still a bit of a win. Having also more pressure against Hammer themselves. And here comes the jump. Nick goes in. There comes the kill as Masquerade just says, oh, by the way, we didn't kill Tyrande. I'm going to take care of that real quickly. Blade with the taunt. He is going to die here for sure. And with Blade now down and Tyrande eliminated, you can already guess where this is going. There's a triple kill, baby, as they're going in again. Nice. Well played here. So with that, they're definitely going to get another protector. And that should... That's honestly a question, like what are you going to do with this? 16 is ready on both sides. Are you going to make the rotation for the keep? Seems like it. They go for the camp. They're trying to push that in. Trying to make sure that they have another tool pushing the top lane so that they can go for the keep instead of simply preparing the bot lane. But we have Leo moving over. So Cris is currently at the bottom of the map, on the bottom lane, trying to ensure that they can take down that keep. Oh, sorry, at least the fountain here without a problem. Rotates into the middle, so he's just going for XP rotations again. Or are we going to have him go all the way up to the top and try and hit that into? I mean, either way, the problems for Wildcard are just mounting at this point. 7 against 4, kill count, good damage against the keep. Still trying to go for a bit of a kill there, and yep, Blade is in trouble, and that is going to translate another kill. Ah, quad move here. Nice arrow. And the double Entomb by Cris. Stop. They're dead already. Stop kicking them while they're on the ground, dude. And that's 4 down and the first keep eliminated. And this is, at this point, I mean, is it even a question if you go for core anymore? With 40 to 30 seconds on the death timers, that's just fantastic. That's exactly where they're headed right now. Hammer is still alive, but there's nothing that he can do. Yep, there comes another attempt at the stage dive. The Mithril Mace is completed as well. And this is game, ladies and gentlemen. This is washed up with a victory against Wildcat, taking the 2-0. Pretty easy peasy. Second map, Volskaya Foundry, 11 kills against 4, and they've done well. They move on to the semifinals of the HeroesHype Premier Series. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video, and I hope that you enjoyed the match and the commentary. The remaining time of the video has been added to protect against spoilers caused by the length of the video itself. But please keep in mind, though, that this does not only mean more work for me, but also has a negative impact on the popularity of the videos and the channel because of YouTube's algorithms. It would be greatly appreciated if you'd consider supporting the channel and help me to continue the daily esports coverage by clicking the join button below the video or supporting me through the Patreon page linked in the video description. Thanks a lot for the support, and see you guys next time.